Very well with my hair. Oh, I think we're live, y'all. Oh, hey everybody, it's JJ Conway. How you doing? How you doing? Trying out this new feature in StreamYard that allows us to do a vertical and a horizontal broadcast at the same time. I hope it's not getting anywhere confused. I actually hope y'all can hear me. We're trying also out another mic. I keep getting new mics, and then it turns out that what's really going on is it's the computer. My computer is dying, and I'm stubborn, and I do not want to switch to Microsoft Windows 11 until after I have finished my doctorate, because I really don't want to have to learn something new when I'm already stressed. All right, so let me just test this out real quick. And I'm stubborn. Well, it seems to be working all right. All right, so let me go ahead and close that out. And all right, so tonight we're... Oh, who is this?
Hello.
Hello. Do you have something for us today? Here's talking to the mic.
Okay, so as you know, if you've been watching, I've been doing these certain football cards. Happy football cards.
Please stop trying to talk with a British accent.
But I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I might be doing podcasts, but for now, I'm doing these in Mom's classes.
Okay.
Now, this one says 33. Victory shines brightest after the tough battles.
Try not to move the mic too much because it's going to sound scratchy for them. What does that mean to you?
To me, it means if you fight tough, then you will see victory shine. I think.
Okay.
I'm a banana.
Banana. Ultra Nene.
Ultra Nene. Ultra Nene theme song. Ultra Nene.
Okay.
Ultra Nene theme song. Ultra Nene. Ultra Nene theme song. Ultra Nene. Ultra theme song. Yeah. Make sure to visit my YouTube channel as Ultra Cubby. A lot of great videos out there. Peace!
All right, there you have it. I'm not sure what that was, but whatever that was, you now have it. Okay. So today we are going to talk about weaponized gift giving. Did confirm that everybody can hear me. We're trying out a new mic. For those of you who first of all, I just want to say I'm so happy y'all are on this broadcast. For like the last 4 weeks, we have had so much trouble actually getting a stream to go that one day I made up some slides. So we were like 30 minutes late starting because I made up some slides because I couldn't get the video to work. And then now we're like, okay, let's the last one, I think we just filmed it off air. And I don't even know if y'all have seen it. So we're going to check on that because now I realize I should have checked on that. But tonight, y'all, we've got some fun topics to talk about. And I had actually hoped to talk about them before the holidays were over. But with everything, with the mic and everything, and not the mic, the video, we still don't know what's going on. I think it's a Microsoft conspiracy to get me to upgrade my computer. And like I said earlier, I'm not upgrading nothing until I get this doctorate done, because I don't want to have to try to learn anything new. And I don't know if my podcast ever get to anybody who works at Microsoft. I keep saying I want to get up there to Seattle and work with the ladies that I love from Women in Cloud. But let me tell you something. Living out in rural Texas, I do not want an operating system that's going to force me to be on the internet in order to use the stuff I have. Why? Because the internet is a weird beast out here. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. Some days there's lots of bandwidth, some days there's not, and there's just not that much you can do about it depending on where you are out here. Okay, so I'm really happy to see everybody on today. We're really glad that you're with us, and today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart and basically comes from a question that came in. Wait, before I start, If you're new to me and my body of work, this is our live podcast recording of the Ladies of Wealth podcast. So I want to welcome you to the Ladies of Wealth podcast. We broadcast Thursday nights and we extract from that broadcast the podcast for the 3 or 4 podcasts for the next of the week or whatever that turns out to be. And so if you are listening to me as part of the Ladies of Wealth podcast, I encourage you to come out on Thursday nights, because one thing I like to do is most of the time, unless we're doing some kind of marathon and it's already 1 a.m, most of the time I will stay on till the last question is answered. So if you've got questions, drop them in the chat. Go out to ladiesofwealth.com/contact, drop your question in the anonymous box there, or you can leave a voicemail there at ladiesofwealth.com/contact, and then I'll be able to play that and we'll answer it online. Okay, so today we're going to talk about weaponized gift giving, and we're going to start off by answering this question that came in. Okay, so what is that? What is that? Oh. Ah, you know what? That is still okay, y'all. This emergency light video is still my #1 highest watched video every week. It's taken on a life of its own. Well, I'm so glad you're here with us today. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I got a little bit of that depression era grandparents in me. You know, if use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. You know, and we definitely got good use out of that emergency light. Much better than some of the new ones that are out there today. Okay, so all right. Here's the question that came in. Okay, hold on. Hi, JJ. I'm glad you're releasing new episodes again. Me too, lady. Look, I'm definitely glad to be getting those episodes off of my computer and into YouTube. So for those of you who don't know what happened, for like a year, we were fighting this battle with copyright on YouTube. So I bought rights to music for my videos and advertising through John Maxwell team in 2019. Somebody took that music, they did something with it in 2021, and now they're going after people with copyright hits. And I'm like, but I bought this 2 years before this person claims to have used it to make whatever they're making. So it's just been a whole rigmarole. So what's happening now is we've got a lot of that cleared up. We're starting to push those episodes out. So you're going to see a whole lot of the old episodes that should have been there, and now they're going to be released on YouTube. I think most of them are still in the podcast itself. You might have heard it audio wise, but YouTube don't play, y'all. Ooh, I got shut down bad over that. All right, I'm still trying to get my monetized back. So look, help a sister out, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I'm going live, and tell 20 million friends that they need to subscribe to this channel too, so I can get my monetization back. Okay, seriously though, back to the question. Hey JJ, I'm in my 50s from Pittsburgh. Oh, 412, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Penguins. My guys are watching the game right now. It was 6-1 when I came back here to film. So I don't know what the score is right now, but let's go, Pittsburgh. All right. I need some clarity because the situation is starting to feel manipulative. My sister consistently gives me gifts she knows I don't like, won't use, or physically can't use, including high-end spa products that contain ingredients I'm allergic to. Oh my goodness, y'all. How annoying is that? Hey! It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Wait a second. I'm going to get to this question in a second. If you are the person who asked the question, I promise you I'm going to get to this. But let me just say here, hey, we're going to build everybody up here today, okay? We're going to build everybody up if we can. All right? So, let's go back to the question. So this person has a sister that keeps giving gifts she knows she don't like, won't use, physically can't use, including high-end spa products that contain ingredients I'm allergic to. If I don't put on a big show of gratitude, she immediately frames it as me being unloving or unappreciative. When I push back and say that's not true, the conversation flips into guilt, emotional pressure, and an expectation that I owe her something expensive in return. At this point, it doesn't feel like generosity. It feels like control. I'm not interested in playing along anymore, but I also don't want this to turn into a full-blown family blow-up. How do I shut this down clearly and calmly without being painted as the problem? Ooh, y'all, this is a great question to start off with today. And I wasn't going to do this, but I am going to show you this. Okay. One of the things that I have been doing is I'm working with some of my uh, young people who are on the spectrum, and we are working through this book. Now, I know if you're saved and sanctified, you're like, what is she holding up? Okay. It is called The Black Book of Power by Stan Taylor. That's not his real name. That's the name he goes by. And not only does it walk you through manipulation and other kinds of tactics, but it shows you, it trains you with exercises how to recognize feelings in others, what other people are really thinking and feeling. So if you're on the spectrum, this is really helpful. But if you're just a regular ordinary person, if you're like me and you're like, I point things out with logic and people just dig in and they reinforce their positions, it's because you cannot fight emotion with logic. Okay. The more that somebody is emotionally attached to the outcome, the more your logic just makes them more mad at you. Okay. So if you're interested in that, I think I've got the link down here. It is an affiliate link. Okay. Oh no, that's apps built. Oh yeah, that's good too. I'll the link should be in the notes that already accompany this. Okay. So when you push back and say, this is what she says that made me think of that book. When I push back and say that's not true, the conversation flips into guilt. It's because the conversation was not based on logic. It's not based on logic, so you can't fight it with logic, okay? All right, so now, how do I shut this down clearly and calmly without being painted as the problem? Okay, so now, let's talk about what's actually happening here. This is known as manipulative giving or weaponized giving, okay? I'm gonna give you some other examples. All right? I have a family member who routinely gives me things like this. Like, for example, I have been sober since before, not after, but before I gave my life to the Lord at 22 years old. Okay. Actually, technically a week before 22. So I was 21 when I gave my life to the Lord. I was also 21 when I gave up alcohol. Okay. I was a cadet at the Air Force Academy. I was about to graduate. I showed up drunk to a physics final project I was working on with the team. And the crazy thing about it is my classmates celebrate me. They celebrated me. They had never seen me drunk before. And the one guy, I don't remember who he was, but he was like, it's nice to see you taking matters into your own hands. Now, here's the problem for me. I was never a good drunk. I was the kind of person that got over analytic. And so when he said, it's nice to see you taking matters into your own hands, my over analytic brain, souped up with whatever alcohol does to me that it doesn't seem to do to everybody else, that it makes chill, was like, wait, this is not taking my life into my own hands. This is giving up my power. And I mean, it was just, okay. So I decided never again. I was not a good drunk. This was not for me. Gave it up. 2 weeks later, the Lord filled me with his Holy Spirit and gave me the strength to stay away. That's 29 years, y'all, that I've sworn off alcohol. And I still get booze as gifts and clothing with boozy sayings on them. And it's basically gotten to the point where I avoid gift exchanges with this person because they rarely ever give me something I actually like. And I'm at the age where I don't really care anymore. You know what I discovered? There's a byproduct of perimenopause. It's called the I don't care. And so apparently your hormones that make you care, they start siphoning away when you start entering a certain age. Okay. So maybe yeah, my mom turned me on. I forget what her name is, but this lady who's like the I don't care club. So my mom turned me on to that last week. I was like, yep, I used to care way too much what people thought. And now I'm just like, you know what? You do you. I got a good life. You do you. My life ain't perfect, but you do you. You want to have something to say about me? You can go say it over there because I'm having a positive, happy zone only. Okay. So now This is what feeds into, hey, power couple here, him and his wife, y'all, Delano Johnson and the beautiful, beautiful Monique. Hey, were you coming to say hi? They are amazing, y'all. You coming to say hi? Look, he's up there. Hi. Anyway, all right. So the thing is, here's the thing. Guess what? When you start standing up for yourself, you cannot. Sorry, hate to break the bad news to you. You are not going to be able to get out of this without hurting some feelings and having people make you having people think you are wrong, having people get mad at you, having people get upset, and especially this sister of yours that keeps giving you these lame gifts. You know why? Because she knows she's doing it. Oh, y'all, she knows she's doing it. Let me take him off there because he may not want to be associated with what I'm about to say. So maybe you got a family member. Maybe you got a family member that does you like this, right? Or here's another one that I've had in my life. Maybe you have too. Maybe you have too, or you know a friend who has, and you're like, girl, why you put up with these people? Because sometimes we just don't know what to do. Maybe you got a family member who treats you really, really bad and then tries to make up for it with expensive gifts. Or maybe you keep getting gifts that are clearly regifted. Now, look, y'all know I'm frugal. They call me the queen of cash flow, and I used to be the frugal mama, right? I am not opposed to regifting, okay? But you know, some regifts are a sign of disrespect, especially when they're not even a good fit for you, all right? So there was this thread that went viral on Reddit about weaponized gift giving. And that's why when this question came in, I was like, oh, I'm already primed and ready for this. Gaby.
Hi.
Mr. Delano says, what up, little man?
What's up?
Now, if you're listening to me on the podcast, y'all got to forgive me. It's been a month. I haven't been able to get my video to work. And I'm just so excited to be back with the audience that if I don't get time to edit all these fun things out, you're just going to have to know that I love people and the people love me. All right. And they really love my little man. Okay. So anyway, this thing went on viral on Reddit about weaponized gift giving. And people were sharing all these stories about, personalized gifts, y'all, really expensive gifts that you feel bad about throwing away, like the grandmas who regift you the things you sent them previously, right? Now, while I feel that most of these stories are more about the people who are just not good at giving gifts, especially grandma. If you gave her a cookie basket last year, she probably thinks that's something you like, especially if she don't like it. And she probably figured, well, they gave it to me, they must like it, I'm going to give it back to them, all right? But that's not the case with this listener. And one of the things that I've experienced, okay, once, no, let me go into that story yet. Let me just wrap all that first part intro up with, you are probably not going to be able to avoid causing a scene. You're probably not going to be able to avoid having people be mad at you, okay? And so here's another aspect of this, because I think I might have said that already, but I just want to make sure. I keep getting distracted by all these comments. Oh, y'all, I love comments. Okay, so give me some likes, some love, some subscribes. If you're on YouTube, hit that bell, because apparently on YouTube, it's not enough to just subscribe. Like, they cannot make it easy for you to just subscribe, right? Like, you got to subscribe and hit the bell and hit this and do that and give your left pinky toe so that you can get on and get people. But you know what you don't have to do on YouTube? To see stuff you don't want to see, you just have to exist, right? But to see the stuff you want to see, you got to put in a little effort, okay?
Make sure you guys do the same thing.
Here, get on this little one. Get on the little one. Okay. Get on the little one.
Make sure you guys visit Ultra Cubby on YouTube and subscribe and hit that bell.
All righty. All right. So now, here's another thing that's not the case with this listener, but it's something I have completely experienced. All right. One time I lived in an area. And if you are somebody that was my friend in that area, please know I'm not talking about you, because you were my friend. You wouldn't have done this. Okay. I just want to reassure you. But both the ladies group that I was associated with and my job, Secret Santas, were the worst. Okay. In case you don't know what Secret Santa is, okay, Secret Santa has a lot of different forms. And the one I'm talking about is where you anonymously swap names, right? You give a list of gifts you like, and the person who gets your name has to get you at least one gift at the end of the season. Okay. And some people give a lot of little gifts all season long and then one gift at the end. And some people give nothing, but then they give a gift at the end. Y'all, during the 4 years of this military assignment, I had to back off of after that, because not only did no one do that for me, but the one gift I got at the end always had nothing to do with my list. And y'all, my list is easy. See, I like to make my list easy the way I want to make my business easy, because you know what? Confused buyers don't buy. Confused gift givers don't give good gifts. So if I want to get a gift from you, I want to make it easy for you to get me something I'm gonna like. Or if you get me something I don't like, I want to make it easy for me to not hurt your feelings later, right? And so I'm gonna try to make that easy for you. My list is easy. I like consumable gifts, especially ones I can share, like food. I like energetic gifts that don't last. And by energetic, I mean they bring life, or they bring energy to your space, like flowers. I like gift cards, especially those that make my travel easier or are a nice treat. Now, do not get me Target $25 gift card, $10 gift card. Ain't no Target in a 2-hour swath around me. You get me a $25 gift card at Target, I gotta drive 2 hours to go use that gift card. That did not come out the way I wanted it, y'all, but I'm serious. It cracks me up when somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to get her this thing that's in Dallas because she's near Dallas. Dallas is 3 hours away. And I appreciate it, but your $10 gift card to this furniture store in Dallas does not go very far. As a financial planner, let me take my friend hat off. And let me put my financial planner hat on. As a financial planner, I would like you to spend your money where it makes an impact, okay?
Hang on.
So the other category that I like, you've got hats for me. Yep. We'll do them next time. We'll do them next time. Okay. We'll do them next time. The other kinds of gifts that I like are shared experiences. Now it works out because I'm doing this after the holidays. So you don't have to think I'm ponying up for gifts, right? My birthday's not till Memorial Day weekend, and the holidays have just passed, so I'm not trying to get gifts, so I guess that worked out. But I like experiences. Like rather than you give me a gift card to a store that's 3 hours away, I'd love for you to take me to lunch or dinner when we're at our next event together. Okay, let me tell you what I never ask for. I never ask for smell good. Why? I got the craziest skin, y'all, and my routine is not to be messed with. I know I don't look like I care all that much about highfalutin skincare and products, but the stuff that keeps the skin clean and clear, it takes a certain process. Otherwise, we got Pizza City going on over here. So no, I don't ever ask for smell good, because it breaks me out usually. I don't ask for Bath and Body Works. I don't ask for whatever the other ones are, okay? I don't ask for tchotchkes. You can see behind me, I don't even have room to put them. And I don't ask for clothes. I'm hard to fit. I look like I would be easy to fit, and honestly, since I moved to Texas, let's face it, I'm rocking a lot of t-shirts and a lot of hoodies lately, right? But for the most part, I'm hard to fit. I don't just buy stuff without trying it on, okay? And so in those 4 years of that assignment, I put on the thing what I like: consumable gifts, gift cards, and stuff like that. And not once was I given anything on my list. And why? I had failed to build relationships, and quite frankly, nobody cared. They just didn't care. I was part of the group, so they didn't exclude me, but I wasn't a priority. Oh, y'all, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I wasn't a priority. And if that's the situation, you're surrounded by bad gift givers, or you haven't built relationship with people so they understand what kinds of gifts to give you, or you're a strong, independent woman who don't need nothing from nobody, and so nobody knows what to do for you because you don't ever let anybody do nothing for you, okay? if that's the situation, we're going to talk about what to do with unwanted gifts in the next episode. And throughout the year, we're going to bring you quality content that's not only going to add more money to your pocketbook, help increase your business, but also help you build more stronger relationships with people so that you all can have mutually beneficial, uplifting, and encouraging relationships and friendships together. Basically taking you along the journey that I've had to go on in the last 10 or so years, when I realized my life was basically spent doing everything for everybody else, and I didn't even know who I was anymore. When I didn't know who I was anymore, then I couldn't have other people in my life who knew who I was. And when I couldn't be genuine with myself, I didn't have people in my life who could be genuine with me. Okay. And so that's probably not the situation of this person. Let's get back to this question of weaponized gift giving. All right. What do you mean muted? Huh? How long have I been muted? No, I don't. It says that I'm on. All right, let's test it again. Let's test it again. Let's test it again. All right, let's test it again. No, I don't. We're on. Okay, it says it's showing, it's playing on the other channels. I don't know why yours is muted. Mine is working. Mine is working over here. I would leave it on, but I don't want feedback. I would leave it on, but I don't want feedback, okay? So, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And my little guy is trying to read the comments, okay? So he's trying to read the comments for me. Because it's kind of hard when I get worked up. I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at the comments, you know? That's why I have my assistant now. When he gets really good at this, I'll start paying him. Ooh. Okay.
We are so sorry for anything that happens to the sound.
I just realized whoever posted that can't hear us. So let's type it in the type, okay? I'm writing other channels hear me fine. Would you switch channels? That is horrible typing. Okay, but we got to get to this. If I keep just getting distracted, it's going to be one podcast episode on just one question. And that's okay. You know what? That's okay. This is a good question. All right. So I've given you all kinds of things that talk about why you might be getting some bad gifts, but that's not necessarily a weaponized gift. Sometimes it is, like some of the examples I gave you with all the alcohol clothes, but sometimes it's just people don't know what to do, and people are lazy, and people are busy, and you're just another thing on their to-do list, and it's just unfortunate. Okay. All right. Anywho, this listener's gift is being given as a control play. See, her sister isn't just unthoughtful or forgetful. Her sister isn't just trying to downsize or pass on her latest Tupperware or Longaberger purchase, because she wants it to go to a good home and she doesn't want it cluttering up her house, okay? She's literally, wait. Let me back up. Beep, beep, beep. Back that truck up. A lot of older people who are giving us gifts that we may feel, wait, I might resemble that remark soon. A lot of times somebody who's older than us, who's giving us a gift, we're like, why are they giving us? They may be trying to downsize. They may be trying to pass on the things that they cherished for a lifetime to somebody that they think will cherish it. Okay. So just because you don't want that Longaberger basket, don't necessarily look at it as a bad gift. Now, there have been times where maybe somebody bought something at a party. They don't want it. They don't have room for it, but they felt pressured by everybody to buy it. I know none of my listeners are going to do that because what? We don't spend money out of obligation, do we? And we don't spend money on manipulation, do we? We spend money on things that are uplifting and encouraging, that are needed for our family. And then we spend money on things that either help us build good relationships or help us move our businesses forward. But we don't go to the party and get pressured to buy $100 worth of junk we don't need just because we want to look good in front of the ladies. Not at Ladies of Wealth. Oh, no, sir. No, ma'am. We don't do that. That's why we have wealth. We don't spend it out of obligation trying to make ourselves look good in front of buy stuff we don't want in front of people to impress people we don't like. Okay. That said, though, this person's sister is literally putting the listener in a position of having to cater to sister or suffer the wrath of sisters. You don't love me enough. You're bad. I'm good. You're mean. I'm the victim. And so likely this sister is used to making everyone else responsible for her shortcomings, mistakes, neurotics, right? And until this dear listener jumps out of the weaponized gift-giving merry-go-round, I'm honestly concerned she's going to begin to dread the holidays. Rather than just dreading holidays with sister, start dreading them at all, okay? And there's a flip side to this, okay? The guilt tripping you into getting them the gift they want. Because, see, there's two separate issues at play here. Weaponized gift giving is a way of control and a way of belittling you so that they can feel better about themselves. Okay. When somebody gives you a gift that they know is going to break you out, or that knows that is contrary to your beliefs, or that know you're not going to be able to use, and in their mind, they're thinking they're going to put you in a bad position because now you got to figure out how to politely accept this gift and how to move forward. Okay. Shall I give them the spoiler? You don't have to. There have been many times someone at a party or, even as part of an event has given me a bottle of alcohol, and I have had no problem saying, thank you so much, but I don't drink. And I have had people like, you shouldn't do that. You should just accept it and give it away or throw it away later. No. See. I don't feel guilty. If you give me something I can't use, I'm going to give it back to you. If it's not something I can use. I don't want alcohol in my house. I don't think I'm gonna get drunk and do something crazy, but as a pastor, as a minister, as someone who's been sober longer than I've been saved, I just don't want it in my house. And if somebody spent money on it, well, surely you want it back so you can drink it yourself. I mean, I'm just being polite. I'm just being kind and considerate. Okay, so we got two separate issues here. We've got the one issue where people are purposely doing things to make you feel bad, to put you in a bad position, or because they want to have some form of lording over you. The other side of what's happening with this listener, is the guilt tripping into getting sister the gift she wants. And y'all, I know a lot of my ladies of wealth, because you've come from humble beginnings. You have pulled yourself up and you have made it happen. And you found a tribe of people that'll uplift and encourage you and push you forward and help you to do good in your business and stuff. Because you've done that, all of a sudden, everybody else in your family that decided they were going to sit around watching TV all day instead of building their own empire, they come out and feel entitled to your paycheck. They come out and feel entitled to the fruit of your business. They come out and feel entitled to whatever it is, your contacts. Oh my goodness. I was shocked. I was shocked, y'all. And I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't think I was like that, right? Like, I'm just a good person not good. I shouldn't say good, but it does sound so pompous. I'm just a normal person trying to do what the Lord's called me to do. And I have surrounded myself as best I can with other people who are doing what they feel the Lord has called them to do. And when this person beats Bobby Flay, and this person is on the news with her multi-million-dollar business, and this person is in this TV show, and this person's built this multi-million-dollar app, like, to me, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. We're good people doing good work, and we're getting paid well to do good work. Like Dave Meltzer says, I'm going to have a lot of fun, help a lot of people, and make a lot of money. I like it, right? So I found out this last year was the first year I had people trying to get to me so they could get to my contacts. And I was like, when did my contact list get so worthwhile? I mean, because I don't look at people that way. Maybe I should more. I don't look people. If you're in my life, yeah, we may be doing business together, and I hope we make good money together, but you are not a means to an end for me. You are not a means to it. I am not with you just because I want to take advantage of you. If you are a client that I have gone after, you haven't been a client for a while, you haven't done this and that for a while, I'm not just in your life because I want you to pay me. I don't need you to pay me. I like you to pay me, but I don't need you to pay me. I'm here because I care and I feel you have something that you are called to do great, and I want to be a part of that journey. Look, when you get your reward and your crown, I want one of those jewels in my crown. I'm sure this isn't coming out right, right? But as we lift ourselves up, we're going to find that more and more people who didn't, and especially if you come from those humble beginnings, you're an overachiever from a family of underachievers. You're going to have people feel entitled to your paycheck. People who feel entitled to the benefits of your business, people who feel entitled to your contacts, people who feel entitled to the VIPs that you hang around. Okay, they're normal people to you. We're all doing good work, but other people see the glitz and the glamour, and they want to rub elbows with somebody they think they can manipulate into making them rich with an easy button. Y'all don't even get me started. Okay, let me tell you something. My first 3 years as a cadet at the Air Force Academy, because I didn't have money for a computer when I first arrived. Right, they took it out of my cadet pay. So for all those months, I made like $40 a month instead of the 200 or so my classmates did. Now, 200 a month doesn't sound like much, but when you're a college kid back in the 90s, in 1993, that was a lot of money. Okay, but I had to pay the government back. So for $40 a month, that was a lot of more money back then, but it was not a lot if you have to take care of your soap, your feminine stuff, your eye care, and Christmas was tough. And I was so thankful because USAA sponsored our gift wrapping station, and I could wrap all the gifts with quality paper and ribbon for free. And but I didn't have money to buy gifts. And people look, because if you're in the military, you can go out and see what everybody makes. You can go out and see what a cadet makes. You can go out and see what a lieutenant makes. You can go out and see what a master sergeant makes. It's all published. It's all out there. You know why? Because the taxpayers paying our paychecks, right? And so you can go out and see all that. But I didn't have that because I came from a humble situation. And whereas the other cadets, their parents were colonels and generals, and they had the money for the printer and they had the money for the computer, and computers were kind of new back then. I didn't have it. I even remember applying for a credit card one year, not because I wanted the card. I didn't. But because if you applied, you got a free t-shirt and a teddy bear. And you know what? That was my sister's Christmas gift that year. Unfortunately, my family did not judge my gifts by how well I did on that minimal budget. And I was so proud of myself, y'all, because they thought I was making more like the other cadets. And they seemed to think that I was cheaping out on them. Now, I've always been frugal. Don't get me wrong. I've always been frugal. But anybody who knows me, I'm frugal. But when I want something, I get it. Okay. And it really hurt my heart because I had spent more on their gifts than I did on non-necessities for myself. Anyone want to guess what my favorite splurge was back then?
What's a splurge?
Drop your guesses in the chat. We'll see who has it. We'll see who has it right. If you think you know what my biggest splurge was back in college, go ahead and drop it in the chat, okay? But that was my first experience with people feeling entitled and people trying to manipulate me because they wanted what I had or what they thought I had. Okay. And so let's see what we've got here. All right, I'm just gonna tell y'all because some of y'all are so young, you're not gonna know what this is. My favorite splurge back in college was, drum roll, the BMG Music, 13 CDs for a penny, and then you had to buy like 6 more in the next year. I loved it. I would buy them, fulfill it, close it, buy it, fulfill it, close it. And I still miss my thematic movie theme orchestral disc that BMG put together. I have no idea what happened to it. It was my favorite study disc. Okay. So when it comes to that, I had to learn to ask what was on people's gift list. But even then, it was always crazy expensive stuff. People wanted luggage. They wanted trips. And I'm like, really? Just because I make a lot doesn't mean I had a lot. And I actually didn't make a lot. And the stress, y'all, the stress I felt over that was enormous, especially since I graduated from the Air Force Academy making more money than my parents made combined on day one, and also with so much debt that even Kmart declined me for credit when I tried to set up my first apartment. Do you know how broke you gotta be and how bad your credit needed to be for places like Kmart and Walmart to deny you credit? Y'all, that's and let me tell you, back then they weren't sly about it, okay? They weren't stealthy about it. It was Janine so and so. I don't know if I was Wiggins by then. Janine Wiggins, please come back to the Kmart desk. There's an issue with your credit, and they do it over the loudspeaker, and everybody in there, including my other classmates from the Air Force Academy, who were all on our first duty assignment, hear that there's an issue with my Kmart credit application, and we all know what that meant, y'all. Oh my goodness. That's when I realized I couldn't allow people to manipulate me into buying them stuff that were outside of the parameters of what I could afford. Now, quick plug, y'all. If you make a lot and you don't feel like you got a lot, let's sit down and work on your finances. For real, okay? I will help you the way Larry Burkett helped me after my embarrassment at Kmart. And I called up his ministry and said, I need to do something about this debt. You will remember the teddy bear credit card that I got from my sister. I got the teddy bear for her gift that year. Well, you know why they give out all credit cards with teddy bears and t-shirts and other special offers? Because they know if they entice the college student will turn around and run up the card. And guess what this college student did? Yeah, just because the minimum payment was low doesn't mean you can afford it. That's a whole word right there, y'all. But I will help you the way Larry Burkett helped me, and you will completely change your relationship with money. And so instead of fear of debt and bills, you will get to be excited about your financial future. Because even if you're not where you want to be, you'll have a plan, a solid plan that works for your personality, your health, your family situation, and all of the different factors that make you a unique and vibrant individual. You will be able to live again instead of hiding in fear. And I can help you do that. Just go to jjconway.com and book your free strategy session, and you will be able to walk in freedom of wealth. Y'all, it's going to be so good. Okay. Anyway, back to the question. What can you do if you are caught with a weaponized gift giver? Okay. What can you do? First of all, understand. Actually, first of all, we already covered that. You can't fix it without making people mad at you. So just accept it. It's like building wealth. You almost can't fix building wealth without making people mad at you, because everybody's broke. And when you start to break the paradigm of being broke, people get mad at you. They want to pull you back down. They don't want you to be different from them. They don't want you to do anything that they're going to perceive as she thinks she's better than me. Okay? They don't want that. All right. So just understand that. When it comes to weaponized gifts, I want you to know weaponized gifts are about them and not you. Try not to take it personal, especially from family, and especially from more mature family members, okay? Because a lot of times the weaponized gift is them showing their insecurities, not a failure on your part to communicate or participate. Dr. George Fraser says that your chosen friends are God's apology for your assigned family. So if you have friends who aren't giving you gifts you could use, this might be a sign, like in my Secret Santa story, that you are only a tertiary friend, and perhaps you could benefit from building a stronger relationship with group members. But sometimes you are just at the bottom of the group. I'm sorry. I've been at the bottom of so many groups. It doesn't hurt me to say that because I've lived it, but I know it might hurt you to hear it, but it's going to set you free. It's going to set you free. It's going to be your wealthy fix in 26, all right? A lot of people are stressed, they're overwhelmed, and when it comes to gift giving, they're just doing what they can to make things easier on themselves, okay? So now if you feel like that's the situation, it's not personal, it's just circumstantial, and maybe you haven't built the relationships, maybe you can get the group to jump off of that gift for everybody bandwagon, okay? And get them to switch to Secret Santa style thing where you just draw one name, okay? That way everybody only buys one gift. And you can share Amazon wish list or some other way to tell each other what they want. But I mean, you might ask yourself why the gifts are being exchanged in the first place. I mean, are we trying to live up to some societal image here? Is the friend group small and people feel like they're less than, that if they don't get a lot of gifts around the tree? I mean, some people love gifts, some people don't. But I'm finding as I climb up the social ladder. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, because y'all know I'm not that social. But a lot of people have an expectation of what should be. And if they don't match what should be, then they feel bad about themselves. Well, you don't want to put yourself out feeding into somebody else's insecurities. Man, that's a whole nother word right there. All right. Let me get this link. Because I meant to get this link and I did not. Okay, let's get this link real quick. This is our newest affiliate. And I want to post it before I give this next point about weaponized gift giving. Okay. All right. So our newest affiliate, the Black Book of Power. Where'd I put it? The Black Book of Power by Stan Taylor. It can really help you get in touch with what you are feeling and why you're being made to feel it. Okay. You can learn more about the book at stantaylor.com/JJC. Okay. Because when with the weaponized gift comes up, it's making you feel a certain way. That's your body trying to tell you there's an issue to be dealt with, but it doesn't always have to be dealt with the way you initially think it has to be dealt with. Okay. So let's see. We talked about people being busy. Let me give you some other ways to tell if a gift is weaponized, or maybe you'll later discover the gift was weaponized not to make you feel bad, but there's strings attached. Oh, I hate the strings attached gifts. Strings attached gifts are such a pervasive thing. But when certain people want to help me, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm good. And I'm not saying that because I'm strong and independent. I don't need nobody else. Look, y'all, I learned that the hard way when I was laying in that hospital room, and my friends helped me once and my friends helped me twice. And then after that, they're like, you're too needy, because they were used to me being strong and independent and not needing nothing from nobody. So I don't play that game as much anymore. Okay. But there are some people that I'll help you, but I'm going to lord it over you for the next 20 years, So according to Sarah Newman, MA, MFA, let me pull this up because I thought I was good to remember her name, but I don't want to get this wrong. Okay. Here's some questions to ask to determine if a gift is strings attached or weaponized. Does this person have a long history of making unreasonable requests or having unrealistic expectations of you? Have they ever brought up something they did for you or gave you in order to coerce you into doing something for them? This could be a case of history repeating. Do you communicate with them regularly? It's bizarre for someone to send you something out of the blue when you haven't heard from them in a long time. Is the gift all about the price tag? People who give lavish gifts often do so as a symbol of status. They might even leave on the price tag. I always thought you lived on the price tag so I can go exchange it if it don't fit. Oh, my. Has this person shown a pattern of manipulative behavior? This could mean asking to borrow money, but it could also mean asking for an abundance of emotional support. Yeah. My dear listener from Pittsburgh, we are 47 minutes into answering your question. I'm not sure how I'm going to cut it yet for the podcast, but I promise we're going to finish answering your question. But let me just take a quick aside. We might make this 2 podcasts. Quick aside. One of the biggest things that saps our money is we are being asked to overly provide emotional support for other people. And because we have listened to their concerns and we have been that shoulder for them to cry on, and we've allowed them to come and vent to us, and we have prayed for them, and we have cared for them, because we have poured so much of our energy, our spirit, our soul, even our body into them, we don't have enough energy left for us. And when we don't have enough energy for us, when our brains are tired, our personalities are tired, and we've given everything we have and we haven't found a time to recharge yet, this is when we make foolish financial decisions. So these manipulative gifts, sometimes it's money and sometimes it's be here for me, be here for me, be here for me. We have to watch out for these things because they will sap away your energy, and in so doing, sap away your wealth. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's what else she says. Is the giver an opportunist, Some people are only there when they need something from you, and the opportunity to send you a gift or congratulate you could be an excuse to open the door. Okay. Wow. How many of those have you had happen in your life? You don't have to post it, okay? Because it's a public post. I don't want you getting in trouble with anybody. But if you're like me, you can be like this person, this person. You can list them all off. All right. So now in dealing with this issue, it is important to know if the gifts are truly weaponized. Okay. If they are, then there's really no way to stop it without ruffling feathers. I keep saying that. You know why I keep saying that? Because repetition helps us learn. Repetition helps us learn. And I say it once and you might be like, but there's really no way to stop true weaponized gifts without ruffling feathers. There just isn't. If you suggest a change to the gift giving and the person seems relieved rather than offended, well, then that's actually pretty good sign they weren't trying to actually give you a weaponized gift. If you receive a gift out of the blue from someone who only gives you gifts right before they ask you for money and you call them on it, it could lead to a lot of unwanted drama. Does that mean you shouldn't say anything? Only you will know. Most of the time, the few legit psych sites that I found this on, psychological sites, they tend to agree that unless you really need to address it, just let it go until the weaponization becomes more apparent. So, for example, your brother gives you an expensive luxury spa day for Christmas. He has a habit of over-the-top gifts followed by requests to invest in his new business opportunity. If you don't feel comfortable rejecting the gifts, even though you know the request for investment is coming, just say thank you. Sure enough, not even halfway through January, probably by now, if this happened at Christmas, he's going to ask you to invest in his company, invest in his crypto company. Oh, you should do this for me because I gave you that expensive luxury gift for Christmas. Even worse, y'all, if he adds in, all you got me was a plate of home-baked cookies. One of my favorite gifts. All you got for me was a plate of home-baked cookies. You know what you do? You let him know how you appreciated the gift, but you're still not going to be investing. And it won't take long before his manipulation is so unprofitable for him that he stops buying you these gifts. Even if you liked the spa day, there's no requirement to do for him later. Say it with me now, okay? Just because someone gave me a great gift does not mean I need to accept their manipulation. Say it again. Just because someone gave me a great gift does not mean I need to accept their manipulation. I think you need to say it again. If you're watching me, I know you're going to feel silly saying this out loud, but when you say it out loud, it gets more in your brain. Just because someone gave me a great gift does not mean I need to accept their manipulation. That sentence alone will change your year. All right. Okay. If it's an individual you really do care for, try to have a heart to heart with them about how you would really like to make sure everyone gets something they'll enjoy and offer to exchange ideas, wish lists, things like that. But for a lot of us, that conversation is too uncomfortable and not worth the drama that will be caused. Sometimes it's ineffective with the weaponized gift giver in your life, and if that's the case, then here's some things that you can remember, okay? Wait, what did I say? What did I say earlier? Just because someone gave me a great gift does not mean I need to accept their manipulation. Okay? All right. So you can opt out of the whole gift giving rat race with anybody, y'all. Okay? You are not obligated to spend money and time picking out a gift for someone who manipulates and makes you feel bad. I'm telling you right now, they might get mad, they might badmouth you, but you're the one who's in charge of your time, energy, and resources. You're the one who's in charge of your time, energy, and resources. And from this day forward, you will no longer spend your time, your energy, your resources feeding into somebody else's manipulation cycle. So if you have somebody in your life that gives weaponized gifts and you don't want to call them out in front of everybody, fine, just accept it and say thank you and let it go. But do not feel obligated to get sucked into their manipulation. And let me tell you something else. When you stop okay, y'all, I don't know. I have too much fun with this topic. The story I'm about to tell you is not bad people, okay? But it's very representative, okay? When I left Philip's father, whew, man, that was 16, 17 years ago, okay? And I was $800,000 in debt. Made some foolish decisions, ended up at $845,000 in debt. I didn't have money to even go get the $2 box of cards, Christmas cards from Walmart. And so I didn't send Christmas cards that year. I sent texts. And I think I did a social media post, and I might have sent out emails that basically explained I'm broke. I'm rebuilding my life. I can't send out Christmas cards this year, because it's not just the card. It's the card, it's the stamp, it's the time it takes to write a personalized note, put everything in. And I was hustling, trying to make sure that even though I made six figures, I still couldn't pay my bills. Okay. I still couldn't pay the notes. I still couldn't pay the bills. I still couldn't pay the things. I got my son one toy car for Christmas that year. Okay. So me spending an extra 3 or 4 hours sending out, and $500, sending out 150, 300 Christmas cards was not going to happen. And you know what I found out the next year? None of those people sent me a Christmas card. You are not obligated to spend money and time picking out a gift if you are not able to spend money and time picking out a gift. You are not obligated. Now, none of these people were trying to manipulate me. It was just a matter of obligation. They would send me a card if I sent them a card. If they sent me a card, I would send them a card. You are not obligated to spend time and money picking out a gift for someone who manipulates you and makes you feel bad. You are in charge of your time, energy, and resources. From this day forward, you will no longer spend your time, your energy, or your resources feeding into someone else's manipulation cycle. This is JJ Conway. You are listening to our live recording of our Ladies of Wealth podcast. I hope that you can use these lessons to break free from manipulation and weaponized gifts that are holding you back from achieving your financial goals. Now, if you're listening as part of the podcast, I encourage you to join us Thursday nights for the live recording. And be sure to check out the next episode where we're going to talk about what to do with unwanted gifts. If you are listening to us live, just hang tight for a second. I'm going to get a little something to drink here, and then we're going to continue with part 2, what to do with unwanted gifts. Now, I spent so much time on that last one. I don't know if I cut out all the frou-frou stuff. Can we get it down to one podcast? We may just leave it 2 podcasts. So this is my thing. If you are listening to me, and we broke that first, I'm messing this up. Okay, let me try it again. If you are listening to me as part of the podcast, and we spent 2 podcasts on weaponized gifts, it's because I ran out of time to do the editing. And as many of you know, we're revamping the business. My intern graduated, so we're doing new stuff, and we're trying to reset the business and kind of make things a little more streamlined and incorporate more AI into it. We're just not there yet. So I may just elect to push this out rather than try to make it perfect. Is that okay? And so if you are hearing me, and this is the second episode on that, I want to thank you for coming along with me on the ride, saying hi and having fun with my son and things like that. It means the world to me. It really does. Okay. But I do want you to tune in next time, because we will talk about what to do with unwanted gifts. Okay. And we're going to start that recording in about 2 seconds. About 30 seconds. This time I am going to mute, because I don't want y'all to hear me crunching the size.
Nope.
All right, we're going to get started back up. Okay. Love you.
Okay.
Love you. Go lay down now.
I'm sleepy, but I want to be a part of the thing.
Oh, you've been a great part of the thing. You have. All right, but let me go ahead and get this going. Good night, sweetie. I have to teach you that Sound of Music song. What? So long, farewell. Au revoir, Wiedersehen.
What?
What's the first one? Good night. Good night. Auf Wiedersehen, farewell. Yeah, where all the Von Trapp kids sing. Oh, we're unmuted. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. Okay. All right, I want to welcome you back to the Ladies of Wealth podcast, live recording. This is JJ Conway. We've been talking about weaponized gift giving. Right now, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about what to do with unwanted gifts. When it comes to unwanted gifts, we need to remember that usually bad gifts are not about us. In fact, I hesitate to use the term bad gifts because bad implies that something's inherently wrong and some things are just not applicable, you know? Sometimes bad gifts, for lack of a better term, are about us, but mostly not. So we need to learn the difference, okay? So for example, if you do a white elephant gift exchange and the gifts all stink, I mean, that's kind of what happens. People, they set a gift limit of $20 and people show up with a $5 blanket and they hope they come away with a $50 gift card, right? That's not about you. That's just part of the game. And if it bothers you, then just bring a cheap gift next time or do like I do. I bring stuff I would want. I bring stuff I would want. I don't ever go to a white elephant gift exchange anymore and not bring something I would be happy to take home. And it's so hilarious because we did one recently and I brought money. And I think because what I should have done in retrospect was get a bunch of bills, so it made a big bag. But it was just one bill, and it was a high bill, so I just folded it up and put it in there. I kind of wanted to surprise whoever it was that got it, right? And just by happenstance, I ended up going home with it. So I was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't a traditional one. It had different rules. But my son did this. He did this recently with a $20 Lux blankie that we picked up out of Sam's. Someone else got it, and everyone did he's stuck with that. And I told my table, no, he's not. My boy wants that blanket. And he did, y'all. When his number came up, that's exactly what he did, is he stole that blanket. It's in his room right now. But look, if you've been pretending to like gospel metal because you're really into this guy and you don't want to tell him you don't like it, right? Don't be surprised if he buys you the latest Red album or a couple tickets to the next Conviction concert, That's kind of your fault for fronting. And sometimes gifts you can't use really are a sign that something's wrong with your relationships. Now, I shared this in the last segment or the last episode on weaponized gift giving, but I think it bears repeating here. Once I lived in an area where both my ladies group and my job Secret Santas, they were the worst, The Secret Santa, you swap names. You give a list of gifts you likes, and the person who gets your name has to get you at least one gift, right? And I tend to be the person that gives lots of little gifts and one big one at the end. But some people, they just don't even do anything, and they barely even remember to give you something at the end, right? But I learned I had to back off on that by the time I left there, because there was not one gift that I received that had anything to do with what was on my list. And like I told people in the earlier. In the last episode that we recorded, I like consumable gifts. I like things I can share. I like food gifts. I like flowers. I like stuff that isn't expected to last forever. It's a temporary joy. It's something that we make space for to bring us uplift and encouragement. And then its time is over, and we send it on its way, or we share it with people. I like those. I love gifts that I can share, because to me it's fun. I like being around people. I know that doesn't sound right. I like being around people who like being around me. Okay. Anyway, let me stop. I already covered this in great extent on the weaponized gift giving segment. Okay. And so, Don't buy me smell good. Again, if you haven't heard this, go listen to the last segment, because my skincare routine, my skin, it breaks out for everything. If I eat red dye, it breaks out. If I eat blue dye, it breaks out. If I have something that's too fatty, like if I have more than one donut in the 3 month period, it breaks out. If I sleep funny, it breaks out. If I don't drink enough water, it breaks out. If I don't get enough sleep, it breaks out. If I use normal people's soap, it breaks out. If I fill in the blank, it breaks out. And then not only does my skin break out, but it gets those scars that are like there for 3 months, and I look like I have sunspots from getting old. And no, it's acne. It's acne scars. So I don't ever ask for smell good. I don't ask for lotions, and I don't ask for soaps and all of that. So don't buy me tchotchkes. No place for them, right? You will get your feelings hurt if you buy me a gorgeous painting, unless we were shopping together and you actually saw me like it. Because I have artwork already on most of my walls. And unless you painted it yourself, wait. Okay. I have a friend, she's probably watching, or she will later, who is a professional artist. And she actually makes custom art. And I'm looking forward to ordering some custom art for her. I just need to finish making my office. It's been 2 years. I need to finish putting things what I need in my office and getting my sign and everything made in my office, so then I can know what to tell her for the colors. But if you're like me and you went to painting with a twist, and you painted something by step by whoever taught you to paint it, and it kind of looks like somebody in 7th grade painted it, do not give me that gift. Because I spare you. I don't give you my painting with a twist. I get embarrassed even putting them in the giveaway pile, y'all. I'm like, like people. Okay, nothing to do with what we're talking about today. But how many of you grew up? And I don't want to say I grew up with hand-me-downs, because I don't want to disrespect my mom. I know she did the best that she could. My dad did the best that he could. But I got a lot of my clothes out of the Airman's Attic, which is where Air Force people whose families don't make a lot of money could go and get free things, right? So I got a lot of clothes out of the Airman's Attic. And nobody wants stuff that's got holes or ripped in it. And I'm sorry, nobody wants your painting with a twist paintings, unless you're really good. And most of us aren't good. We just can't bear to throw them away. That's our problem. We cannot bear to let go of something because we put time, energy, and value into it. Oh, y'all, that's a whole word. Some of us are stressing about gift giving and about gift receiving and what to do with these gifts, because we have put so much time, energy, and our life into this relationship that we cannot bear to open up our eyes to see it no longer serves us, and we have to let it go. See, I got my value out of the painting with a twist painting while I was painting it. I don't have to justify its existence by keeping it on my wall or giving it to somebody else. Although I do have one or two that I actually really like and I've kept, So if you are not in the category of somebody who has seen me like something, or you're an artist like my friend who has her studio, and you painted it yourself, especially for me, with me in mind and my colors and my personality in mind, it's probably going to the restoration shop for women who survived domestic violence and are starting over. And I'm not going to feel bad about that, because I'm taking something I can't use and I'm passing it to somebody who could use it. So if you have a friend group, wait, let's take it. Let's close that thought. Okay. Some of us today, we have houses overrun with stuff. And I look around my office. This is the pot calling the kettle black. My office is overrun with stuff, and the Spirit has been speaking it to me through this fast, that you have to let go of things. You don't let go of things because you're afraid to not have it when you need it. And what the Lord has been revealing to me is you're holding on to stuff that you don't need to hold on to because you're afraid to not have it when you need it, but you got money to go buy more. So let go, okay? But some of us, we have a hard time letting go of things that we don't like, because we feel like to let go of something that we were given that we don't like, that what we're basically saying is that something's wrong with the person who gave it to us. And that's not the case. If somebody gives me something I really can't use, I enjoy it for a little while. I enjoy the thought of it. I enjoy the energy of it. But if I can't use it, I pass it on to somebody who can. And to me, that person who gave me that gift is now allowing me to be a blessing to somebody else. And so I honor the gift of the position that it came from, of somebody who really genuinely wanted to bless me, and maybe they were just off the mark a little bit with what I could use, but I don't, I look at the intent behind it and I honor the energy of that, and then I pass that on to somebody whose life could be changed by a tchotchke or an appliance or something that I can't use but they desperately could use. You know, this is purple. Where's the pink one? I know I keep this in here. You know, when we did, oh, I think I left it in my office when I did the last example. Okay, so I'll use this. This isn't it, but I keep one as a reminder. We did a Black Doll Affair at Victory Outreach Center in Houghton, Louisiana. And I opened some 20 packs of multicolored mechanical pencils to pull out all the pink ones, because there was one or two pink ones in each box. And I wanted each of those girls to have pink pencils, because when I was growing up, we got Skillcraft pens and pencils. Anybody know what Skillcraft pens and pencils are? They're the government pens and pencils. I hope he's not mad at me. He should be in heaven now, not caring about it. But my dad used to bring home the Skillcraft pens and pencils, and I never had pretty pens or pencils. I had ugly old government. You're almost afraid to bring them out because everybody in the school knew they were government, because all our parents, we were military kids overseas. All your parents work at the same place, and half of them stealing the same stuff from their job. All our pads of paper. Not all. My mom did buy us school supplies, but they run out. And then when they ran out, my dad gave us, the dark blue folders from the government, the Skillcraft black and silver pens from the government, the Skillcraft #2 pencils from the government. And, I went through and I did that so that they could have something nice. So if somebody gives me something nice that I can't use, I don't have a problem passing that on, because I remember what it was like to not be able to afford anything nice. And I remember when my stuff was not nice. I remember when the things that I had, like before they allowed the airmen, before they introduced the WIC program for the airmen, for our lowest ranking military members, we had a program on our base where you would stand in line. They would give you 2 printer-sized boxes, printer paper boxes about that size. And when it was your turn, you had like 20 minutes or so, maybe it was 10 minutes, to go through the entire chapel full of donated food, most of it about to expire, but donated food. And you had 2 minutes to fill up those boxes. And my mom would take one box and she would give me and my sister a list. And only after we finished finding everything on her list could we go around and scour for things like candy or cereal that was not healthy cereal and stuff like that. And when you've lived that kind of a life, you don't have the same attachment to giving something away. Because for me, when I'm giving something away, I don't give away junk. I don't give away stuff that's ripped up. I don't give away stuff that people can't use. If it's that ripped up, it goes in the trash. I'm giving away stuff that people can use, that people would like. Back then, I remember one time I found a thing of cinnamon candy dots, the little teeny tiny hard cinnamon candy dots. Oh my goodness, this really takes me back. And nobody else in my family liked them. I had the whole bag to myself. That was a treat for me. Okay. So maybe you don't have that background, and maybe all your life you've been taught that it's rude and it's unkind and it's disrespectful to pass on something that came into your life that you can't use. It's not disrespectful. It's not rude. You are giving that item new life. You are taking that item off of your cupboard or out of your garage or out of your storage shed or out of the bottom of your closet, and you are putting it in the hands of somebody who might cherish it. The same way that my girls, when I did that event at that church, those girls were so excited about their pink pencils. Okay? So don't be afraid to give something away. All right. Now, we mentioned this last time, but I'm going to repeat it as well. If you have a friend group that never gives you something you like, it could be that they're just giving each other the same thing, and they're catering what they give. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay. In the last segment, we talked about people being at the bottom of a friend group. Nobody likes to feel like they're at the bottom of a friend group, okay? But if you suspect that maybe that's why you're not getting the gifts you might enjoy, you could be at the bottom of a friend group, okay? You might have a friend group that never gives you something you like, not because it's personal, but it could be that they're giving everybody else in the friend group the same thing, and then they're catering it to the more important people in the group. I mean, it could be you're in the group out of obligation, right? So like people, they don't dislike you enough not to give you a gift, but you're not a priority on the to-do list. Oh, I know that hurts. I know that hurts. I know that hurts. But you don't want to carry negative energy into this next year, okay? So let's deal with it. Now, what if you're in the bottom of a friend group and how to handle that is way above my pay grade, okay? There's maybe I can find an expert. Maybe you are watching and your business is helping people up level their self-esteem and up level their confidence and attract higher quality people into their lives. I mean, we do some of that with Think and Grow Rich. We do some of that with psycho-cybernetics. But if you're an expert, come on and talk about it, because here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to throw away good friends because you think they don't care. But I also don't want you to work hard trying to fit in with a group of friends who aren't really your friends. Both situations drain your energy. And if there's anything that I'm realizing with all these health, family, and business situations is we must protect our energy. We must guard our energy. And if the stress behind gift giving and what to do with unwanted gifts is sapping away your energy, you have to put a stake in the ground and say, I'm going to value myself. I'm going to value my hard work that resulted in the resources, the finances, the benefits that I have. I'm going to value myself and guard my energy so I can spend my energy in things that are uplifting and encouraging or that are a strategic benefit for my future. I wouldn't say that some people do. I wouldn't say that cleaning is uplifting and encouraging to me. I can't stand it. That's why my desk is piled up with stuff. I'll put it away one day, and one day never seems to come. But some people get very therapeutic benefit out of cleaning. Okay. So maybe you get energy from something and somebody else gets energy for something else. But the thing is, cleaning, whether or not we like to do it, it is a benefit strategically. Okay. I was going to say brushing my teeth, but I actually do enjoy brushing my teeth. I like how my mouth feels after I've washed and flossed. I know that's so lame, but I do. But maybe somebody else doesn't. But even if it didn't make me happy, it's still something that's good for me. So I'm not trying to say we only do things that make us feel good. Okay. Sometimes the feel good is knowing that, we're doing something today that our future self will thank us for. But if our future self, let me tell you what your future self is not going to thank you for. Your future self is not going to thank you for stressing over people who don't like you and you don't like. Your future self is not going to thank you for spending thousands of dollars trying to fit some mold that you weren't born to fit in. Your future self is not going to like you hamstringing your future so that you can today try to fit into this mold, fit into this level and look the part that you don't even like, wearing clothes and things that you aren't even comfortable in because you're trying to show you're just as good as anybody else. I'm here to tell you, you're already just as good as everybody else. And when you stop chasing after that and stop chasing after your energy with that, then it will free you in your finances. People come to me for help with their finances. Like, I don't make enough money. Very rarely does somebody come to me that doesn't make enough money. Not everybody, but almost everybody that comes to me makes plenty of money. but they throw it away trying to make up for the energy that they're wasting on things that are not good for them. And when we just came out of this holiday season, and gift giving can be that thing. And now it's January, everybody got to pay off the Christmas bills that they ran up. So we're having this conversation so that when you end 2026, you're not going to be in that same position, because you're not going to give gifts and waste energy on things that are not part of your strategic plan. Okay. Woo. Sometimes the gift giving mismatch is because we're actually not in tune with levels of friendship. I made that mistake a lot of times while healing from trauma, because thinking someone was a friend simply because they were kind, you know, when you I'm trying to learn to say things in ways that don't necessarily make people in my past look bad. But anybody, this is one thing that I'm discovering as I work with, and I'm considering becoming a counselor, and I work with other counselors and stuff. One of the things that I'm learning is people see your trauma before you ever even open up your mouth. And people see the pain and the hurt in the first sentence or two that you speak. And so I don't want to make it sound like you're not hiding your trauma. I'm just going to say I wasn't hiding my trauma. I didn't even know I had trauma. If I thought I had trauma, then I thought I was still doing a good enough job. And then I realized that because of my word choice, or because of my energy, or the way I carried myself, or the things that I did, or the things I didn't do, the stuff I didn't get done, the opportunities I did not maximize, they were all because of past trauma. And one of the evidences in my life, might be my life, may not be your life, might be my life and not yours, but it may be somebody you know, but it might be yours, was thinking that someone was a friend simply because they were kind. Thinking that somebody cared simply because they were kind. Thinking that somebody wanted to pursue relationships or friendships with me simply because they weren't mean. Because I was so used to, and I'm not just talking about my upbringing, but even when I went off to college, at the Air Force Academy, I was so used to constantly being criticized and I didn't know it then. I didn't know it till I went to my first duty assignment. One of the benefits of being short is like, I would sit down at my cubicle and be like this. You couldn't see me. You couldn't see me if I sat down on my cubicle. And I would hear things, and I heard so many of these things that were actually designed to get people like me out of the Air Force Academy. They were designed to make people like me quit the Air Force Academy. I didn't know that till my first duty assignment, when my boss and his deputy were talking about it, because I was sitting at my desk and they couldn't see me over the cubicle wall, the 4-foot cubicle wall. But it was criticized all the time. And when you grow up, or you go to college, or your first adult situation, everything is criticism, 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 criticism. When you meet somebody, you take the absence of criticism to mean that they're a friend, to mean that they're interested in you romantically. And then if somebody adds a little sprinkle to it, so now they're not just not critical of you. They're not just kind and polite to you, but they're also being a little nice to you. It's like you'll do anything for them and give them anything they want. Not you. I'm talking about me. Not you. Talking about me. I might be talking about one of your friends. I'm sure you got a friend who, anytime a guy throws her a wink, she's in love with him and already planned out the wedding and their kids. And not you. Not, of course not you. You wouldn't fall for that. But I'll admit I fell for it, and some other people did too. And they come to me as clients, and we work that out, and we put financial guardrails around their spending, so that the next time something like that happens, whether they feel it or don't feel it, until they go to counseling and get healed of the trauma, they at least have the guardrails to say, well, we're not going to do that. Okay. And sometimes because of that, we can think that certain people are friends, inner circle friends, when they might just be peripheral friends. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to talk about levels of friendship. I'm going to relate it to gift giving. Okay. But we're not going to focus on that right now because we're still talking about what to do with unwanted gifts. And you already know my biggest recommendation is pass them on if you can. Okay. So now, despite these and other situations that might be a little personal for you, most unwanted gifts is not personal. It's just not. It's not somebody saying, I don't like you. It's not somebody saying, I want to mess you over. It's not somebody saying, ha ha ha, I'm going to give them this raggedy gift and watch them squirm because they're not going to be able to be rude to me about it because they're going to want to be polite in public. That's usually not the case. Now, if that is the case, we already talked about weaponized gifts in the last segment. So go back and listen to that one. Okay. But if you have some unwanted gifts, here are some suggestions, okay? So what do? I mentioned this last time, but just in case people don't go back and watch it, I mentioned, being sober from alcohol since 21. I got saved just before my 22nd birthday, and I still don't drink. But I still get people giving me alcohol. And it's so funny because when I say something about being a non-drinking preacher, it's always met with like this smile and wink, like, of course you are, because all the preachers are, or I know plenty of preachers who enjoy this in the privacy of their homes, right? Like there's always this like wink, wink kind of thing, like, of course you're holy, right? The worst is when someone gives me like a shirt with wine glasses or one year, oh, this cracked me up. They gave me pants that said all lit up with the holiday lights. And at first I thought it was cute because I didn't know what lit meant. This was a while ago. Okay. Lit was just becoming a thing. And my son was like, Mom, do you know what lit means? It means drunk and high. So you never saw me in those pants. But barring any sin or something that's incompatible with your beliefs or something that's going to, get you fired, what do you do with gifts you don't want? Okay. Now, just to be clear, I'm not talking about anything anybody gave me this year. In fact, I've got one of my favorite gifts right here. This is one of my favorite gifts right here. It's one of my favorite gifts. And it's not the earrings you gave me are already in my Christmas stuff. And my eye patch is in the bathroom for me to use.
And what about the ladybug purse?
I didn't see a ladybug purse.
Or the red purse that I got.
You mean my organizer? My travel organizer?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I love it. But this is my favorite gift that I got this year. These are some crystal pens, some Sharpies, and a pretty notebook. I mean, I got some other gifts too, but this was my favorite, like, friend gift that I got. It's my notebook. You can't have it. You can't see it on the thing, but it's like gold and purple. And here's what I like is it's at the top. Okay. Because when I write, I want to be able to write on both sides. And if you have one where it's on the side, well, when you're writing this way, it's fine. But then when you want to write on the other side, you're like, eh. So I love this. The problem is I want to put only positive things in it. And lately the stuff I've been writing has not actually been very positive. It's been explorations of things that need to be explored, but I love that. Okay. Anyway, I don't know why I got on that. Please. I'm sorry. I just want people to know. That I'm not talking about them. Okay. I didn't give away any of my gifts this year. Okay. Okay. Boy, I got distracted. What were we going to talk about? Okay, so what to do? What do you do with unwanted gifts? Okay, first thing you can do with unwanted gifts is you can share them at work if they're edible, or even if they are somewhat perishable. If it smell good or something like that, you can take it to work and put it in the bathroom. And sometimes people might steal them, but a lot of times people just share the lotion, and they're happy to have something that's different from dried hands from that standard old cheap soap that they put in your work. So especially if you're like me and you want something treaty, you want a treat, but you don't want to eat all those calories, you don't want them all on your hips, you can share it at work. Okay, we all know that you can return stuff. this is the first year where we returned something on Amazon because someone bought something for us that didn't fit. And I was surprised. I never had returned something on Amazon before, and it worked out really well and allowed us to have credit to go get something else. And so that was really nice. Okay. Sometimes when you go to return stuff, though, you want to check it, because if the person who got it for you got it on an extreme sale or like a Black Friday special, that $50 thing, they might have gotten it for $5. Well, if I'm going to go take it back and then I get it $5 back for it, well, I'm not going to do that. I'd honestly, this is me. I'll either regift it or donate it. Okay, I know regift is a bad word. I know, but you know what? It's a valid thing to do. Okay. Now we're past Christmas, but like next Christmas, if it's too late to regift, please, if you're going to regift something and you're going to save it for a future thing, please put a sticky or something on it to remember who you gave it to or who gave it to you. Okay. Now, if I buy you sweet treats, okay, and you next year say, well, JJ gave me Swiss Miss or Swiss Colony, so I know she likes Swiss Colony, and you buy me some Swiss Colony, I'm not going to look at that as regifting. I'm going to look at that as, okay, you saw what I like. But maybe I got you this really cool mug. I don't have a problem with you regifting if you have 20 of these already. Like I have like 4 of them, and people keep giving me new ones and I want to use them. And so, I'm going to use it for a little while and then I'm going to pass it on to somebody else, because these are fairly expensive mugs, but I don't want to, I shouldn't have said that, because I haven't been passing them on. I have a goal to pass them on, but I love them. It's like mugs. I'm like, anytime we're somewhere, me and my son, I'm like, oh, I could get a mug. And my oldest, he's like, Mom, you already have a whole cabinet full of mugs, and then another cabinet full of mugs that you don't use, that you just don't want to get rid of because they have meaning. Okay, this is derailing really quick. If you're listening to me on the podcast and I didn't get a chance to edit this out, I am so sorry. But this is a sign that I'm getting tired, because I'm just getting a little loopy and silly now. Okay. I actually was silly. I was silly at my son's school today, and I was joking around, but I think the ladies I was joking with thought I was serious, because one of them gave me this look like, she is so dumb. And I thought, I'm not going to tell you what I thought, but but I was just playing around, because when I'm tired, I kind of get silly. And so, wait, let me just go through them again. Okay. Share it, regift it, return it. Okay. The next one is donate it. Okay. But if you're going to regift, let's go back to number 3. If you're going to regift it, make sure you put something on it so that you know who gave it to you, so you don't give it back to them. Okay. The other one is donate. I love to donate stuff. And I think that comes from me being in a situation where I used to go to the Airman's Attic all the time as a junior and senior, so that I could get free stuff, free toys, free clothes, free stuff. And then when I first got into the Air Force, I would sell my excess stuff, and I had a little picking business going at the base thrift store, but I would also get things from the Airman, not the Airman's Attic, but from the base thrift store. Because once you're an officer, you're not getting free stuff from the Airman's Attic, but I would give a lot of free stuff to the Airman's Attic. And I would get them. Sometimes I would get stuff from the base thrift store and then turn around and just donate it, because it came in the $2 bag and I didn't need everything in the $2 bag, but I had space. So I would grab stuff and donate it. Right. But let me tell you what I don't do, and what I recommend you don't do ever again in 2026. And you know what? Tell you what. You don't have to say ever again. Just try it for a year. Just try it for a year. Try it for 6 months. 6 months. 6 months. Now and June. Okay? Don't keep things around out of obligation. Don't keep things in your energetic space that you don't want, because you're worried that someone's going to be mad at you if it's not there. Now this desk is a little cluttery. It's even getting too cluttery for my comfort. Like when I can't find something I want, then I know it's time to clean. But everything on here has meaning to me, and everything on here speaks to me. Like my Black Queen, she is the Why is my queen top broken?
What do you mean?
We're going to glue her back together. Give me that.
I don't know.
Wait. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But somebody unscrewed this and then didn't realize it screws back on. I'm sure it wasn't you. It's probably your brother.
How would my brother know? Like, I'm pretty sure Bubby doesn't even know about it because he's in Waco. He probably wouldn't know about
When
it.
he was here before Christmas, he was probably on the phone with Jasmine fiddling with the stuff on my desk. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What I don't do is keep things around out of obligation. Okay, so I've got this cluttery desk, but my black queen, this player, this chess piece is the most powerful player in the game. Okay, and every time I look at it, most powerful player in the game. Okay, but you're not gonna find a lot of things that don't have any meaning. I don't keep things that don't have meaning. Now I will rotate things. Like this is one of my other gifts that someone gave me. She gave me a bunch of cherry blossom stuff, and I love the cherry blossom festival. She gave me a beautiful scarf and a beautiful bag and everything to go with it. And so that's going to be up there for a little while. It brings me joy. Okay, Air Force Barbie, who I just knocked her hat off. She's been with me. Air Force Barbie has been with me since I was in 10th grade, 1990. This doll, this doll is 35 years old, y'all. And Air Force Barbie went to the Air Force Academy with me. And you get certain numbers of memorabilia, and Air Force Barbie was one of them. She was on my desk the entire 4 years of the Air Force Academy. All right. Meaning, okay? It's not rocket science. My nuclear engineering degree, right, has meaning. Don't keep things out of obligation. Don't keep things just because somebody gave it to you. Now, and if you're in one of those kinds of families, where like you can't throw something away because mom or dad's going to come over and they're going to be mad that it's not there, that is a personal dynamic that you are going to have to work out. Because especially as we all get older, like I saw this with my auntie's house, as we get older, the next generation doesn't necessarily want our stuff. And we were talking about my auntie has all these big porcelain dolls. And I remember when I was a little girl, I loved her doll collection. But I think about it now, I'm like, I have no place in this house to put a doll collection. I have no place for something like that. And even if there's some of her dolls that I might have wanted when I was a little girl, there's none in there that I would want to bring here because none of those have any meaning for me. And I don't know, times have changed and people don't collect the things the way they used to, right? And it got me thinking, I felt so bad. I felt so bad for my mom because she was like, yeah, none of y'all want my stuff. And I was racking my brain. I was like, what does my mom have other than family photos? And maybe her movie, because my parents got the movies now. They got every movie. But other than the family photos in the books, woo, I don't know if mom still has the books, but she had all the books. Look, I got a whole lot of education, probably some education I shouldn't have gotten out of a book, but at least it was out of a book and not a visual movie. You know, that makes a difference psychologically on our kids. But other than those things, I'm like, I don't know what I would want. You know, I think about my dad's house and what did we take from my dad's house? I took some Steelers gear. We took his laptop bag. Y'all have seen my video on getting rid of the bag because, you know, I felt obligation to keep it. But then I realized dad never used that bag. It was buried in a closet, practically brand new. He probably had the same problem I had. He used it for a little bit and realized it wasn't that great. But here I was holding on to it because it was one of the last things I had from him. He's gone on to heaven. I wasn't going to get nothing else from my dad, you know? Don't keep things around out of obligation, because when you let go of things that don't bring meaning or joy or inspiration to your life, now you are opening up room in your life for the things that do. And that doesn't mean that we don't have sentimental value. I've just shared with you some of the things that there's sentimental value for me, the materials money from our family trip, the football, from a lot of my John Maxwell. You can't see all of them up there. A lot of those things they have some meaning. These books, I have walls of books. One day I want to have one of those library walls of books, right? This is nothing. It's all in bins or other cabinets, but it's just it would make I could line this whole room with books if I had one of those, the library. I always wanted the library with the shelves, the ladder that goes around. Like, I'm getting one of that one day. um but I love learning. But what's not in the house is stuff I don't need right now. Now, I'm not getting rid of books, because I find that, like, especially with my young adult books, they don't write young adult fiction the way they used to, because kids don't read like they used to. They don't have the command of the language like they used to. They don't have as much of a vocabulary like they used to. And so a lot of things are more simplified now. So the old board games that I have, the old books that I have, a lot of that stuff I'm keeping, because our society is dumbing down. Okay. That's a conversation I wasn't planning on having today, but we will need to have that conversation, especially when it comes to preserving and building our wealth. Okay. So don't keep things around out of obligation. Okay. And I actually did an internet poll on this on Reddit. Okay. I'm relatively new to Reddit. Okay. So if you're on there, find me. Now, look, I got like 20 profiles on Reddit. I got different profiles for different aspects of research that I'm doing. But there's the main one on there is JJ Conway. I don't know if it's JJ Knows the Way, but you'll see the Ladies of Wealth podcast, and you'll see my smiling face. Click on there and connect with me. Okay. A lot of people like to be anonymous on there. So, if you have an anonymous account, you can just send me anonymous stuff. You don't even have to tell me who you are. Okay. But I love going out there and doing the polls. Okay. And so I'll come up with something, and I'll put something out there, and I'll just see what people say. What is the heart and minds, especially with the younger people. Now, and I did see something. Never mind. So one of the polls was about keeping gifts, okay? And one of the things that I found is that only one out of the hundreds of people that answered, only one did somebody ask about the gift, okay? So they gave their mom something. She gave it to Goodwill. She never told the child. I don't know if it was a guy or a gal, until the child asked to borrow it, okay? And that's when the mom was like, "Oh, I gave that away." That was the only time that somebody asked about a gift, okay? And I resonated with that, because I bought my mom a book written by a lady who wrote one of my favorite series of books. And I thought my mom loved that author. So when I found this rare book on the author's life, I was like, "Oh, my mom will love this." So I gave it to her. And turns out she didn't really love that author. She didn't. I did. I couldn't find the book. So I wanted the ISBN so I could get my own copy. And I asked my mom about it, and she had given it away. And I was so bummed, y'all, because I can't find that book anymore. It's like it's not in print. I'm sure one of these days it'll pop up in I've got a couple of searches for different books. I look, I be buying the books, y'all. I be getting the books. I be getting the books, because once it's written, it's different than what's on the computer screen. Okay. But you know what? I tell you what, it was my own fault for not buying myself a copy. And in my defense, okay, I was broke, and the book was a splurge, and they had plenty at the time, and I didn't think about it. But I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't mad at her for throwing it out. It wasn't her style. She didn't throw it out. She gave it away. That was the wrong phrase. She didn't throw it out. Let me re-say that. I wasn't mad at her for giving it away. It wasn't her style. When I give you a gift, it's yours. And if you want it, great. And if you don't want it, I might like to know, so I don't buy you the same thing next time. But when I don't see you display it or talk about how lovely it is, I might get a hint that maybe it wasn't your favorite jam, or I might get a hint that maybe you enjoyed it, you read it, and you passed it along. Okay? I'm sharing you that story because a lot of people are the same way. Just like I wasn't mad at my mom for passing that book along, I was more mad at myself for not buying myself a copy. I foolishly figured I will just end up getting it from my mom eventually. But the thing is, the consensus was that if something was store-bought, most people weren't going to remember it. So just regift it or donate it. Okay. A surprising amount of people actually throw them out. Like, I'm like, why would you throw something out? I mean, at the very least, drive another town over and donate it to the rescue mission. You know, another large group of people said they sell the gifts they can't use and can't exchange. And I like the way one Redditor put it. It was like, I have dealt with this exact issue for decades. I have suggested name picks, told people ahead of time. What did I write here? Hold on. Let me get my notes because I'm getting confused. I have dealt with this exact issue for decades. I have suggested name picks, told people ahead of time that I don't really want gifts for all the reasons you stated, and mentioned that I prefer consumables, chocolate, wine, cheese, if gifts are coming nonetheless. I have always accepted gifts graciously, sometimes simultaneously wondering if they even know anything about me because the gift is so off track. Now I have a different perspective. I think it's poor etiquette to saddle me with numerous gifts I don't want and won't use. Wow, y'all. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Rather than worrying about whether or not someone's going to be mad at you because you kept a gift that you really can't use or don't want, how about switch that around? Like, how dare you give me a gift that I can't use or won't want? Oh, that's a little too strong. I don't like the way that feels. That's too much, too much, too much. Roll it back. It's really not very kind of you to give me a gift I can't use or don't want. At the very least, if you're going to spend your money on a gift, maybe you should find out what kinds of gifts I like. I like how that is. Still a little harsh. All right. But here's the funny thing, okay? Everyone seems to be worried that the gift giver will be looking to see if they use the gift. Okay. I don't, but not from, but from a control freak perspective, right? Because I already know. I already know that I'm not good at giving gifts. So I want to know if you like the gift. In fact, if you don't ever mention something that I spent significant money or time on, I will casually mention it to find out if I can get you to tell me if you liked it or not. But if it's a normal little gift thing, you know what? If you like it, you'll let me know. You know, most people who donate or give away gifts say that people never ask. They don't even remember. Okay, so there you have it. If you receive a gift you can't use, maybe you got one for Christmas and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. Maybe it doesn't fit in your house. Maybe it's not a fit in your lifestyle. Go ahead and return it, sell it, donate it, in some other way, pass it along, regift it if you need to. You will actually make the world a better place by getting that item into the hands of someone who will actually use it. This is JJ Conway, and you are listening to the live recording of our Ladies of Wealth podcast. And I hope that you can use these lessons to break free from the guilt that traps us under the weight of gifts we can't use and don't want. That negative energy can hold you back from achieving your financial goals. And so it's important to walk in freedom if you want to achieve financial freedom. Okay. And if you're listening to me as part of the podcast, I encourage you to join us Thursday nights for our live recordings. And be sure to check out our next episode where we're going to talk about understanding the levels of friendship and how that can both help us give and receive gifts with grace and joy. Some of us love to give, and we love to help, but we sure have a hard time receiving. So we're going to talk about that in our next episode. And for now, I'm JJ Conway again. If you have a question, be sure to ask your question at at ladiesofwealth.com/contact. And I hope to see you next week and in the next podcast. Take care and be blessed.